Parametric equations, remember, parametric equations always have the letter T. So H and K, your HK, they're always opposite, and your equations are derived from parametric equations. That's why they're opposite. They are not opposite in parametric equations. So HK is going to be always added to some scale factor for X and scale factor for Y. Let's call the scale factor for X B. Let's call the scale factor for A Y. I'm sorry, for A is Y, B goes with X. X is always associated with cosine. Y is always associated with sine. The center is plane K, plane H. Notice they're not changed. The graph will be a circle if B equals A. So if they're multiplied by the same amount, it is going to be a circle. Okay? And just so y'all know, I have that printed on the board over there. That's going to be up tomorrow during your quiz. But I'm pretty sure y'all will be good. Y'all won't really need to rely on that. But it'll be up. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples here. I'm going to write parametric equations. So I know parametric equations always have the letter T. And X and Y are not together in one equation for parametric equations. They are not together. Okay, to write this rectangular into parametric, we're going to let X equal T. So if we let X equal T, then we're going to replace all of the letter X's with T's. And this is all you do. Do not try to overcomplicate it. That's all you got to do. All you have to do is replace the letter Y with the letter T, but here's the kicker, and here's why I said I'm using the highlighter today. If you don't write that part, then that's not the complete set. You have to say X equals T and Y equals the replacement, because parametric equations always have the letter T. You have to tell me this part. All right, now let's write it from a picture. So over here I have a picture. Clearly it's an ellipse. Let's go ahead and find the center. To find the center, it's going to be the intersection of the major and the minor axes. So if you notice, I kind of bolded out the major axis endpoints and the minor axis endpoints. So wherever these two intersect is a good way to identify the center. So I know the center for this is at -4, +5. And there is so much I can do right now just from that information. So remember, for a parametric, it's X equals and Y equals. X is always grouped with H. So if the H is -4, it stays negative, so -4. Y values are always associated with 5, so the K value is 5, so that goes there. Always a plus sign after. And I'm just going to skip a little blank right here, but I know it's always cosine T for X, sine T for Y. And to find those numbers, for the horizontal movement, the X movement, I'm just going to count horizontally how many I go over until I land on a major axis endpoint. From the center to a sideways, directly horizontal point on the graph is 6 units. That just goes there. To get the sine value, remember Y values are up and down movement. From the center, I would just go up or down 2 units. And that's how you write it. And that's parametrics. Guys, I'm going to do just a couple of your homework problems with you, just to make sure you're set. So let's go ahead and look at the homework that is for a grade. And before I just jump into some problems, let's just understand the directions. So on part 1, it says write parametric equations and sketch the graph of each circle or ellipse for that domain, which is the unit circle. Just remember, one more time, parametric equations always have the letter T. So it's going to be x equals something, y equals something. There's definitely going to be T there. That's what those instructions mean. Let's go down here to the next part. So here's another set of instructions. This says to write the rectangular equation for the parametric equations in number 2 and number 3. So if I just glance at number 2 and number 3, I see the words circle and ellipse. So if I see the words circle and ellipse, then I know cosine and sine are involved. And if cosine and sine are involved, then you are always going to have to use this identity to convert it to rectangular form. You have to use that. And just one more little reminder, rectangular form has x and y together in one equation. Let's take a look at the back. All right, so write the following rectangular equations in parametric form, then graph the parametric functions. So these are not circles and ellipses. So if it's not circles and ellipses, it is just like the stuff from Friday. So write the rectangular equations in parametric form. Remember, you're going to separate your x and your y, and they both have the t values there. Then you're going to graph it over the given domain. So they give us the domain. Y'all, these are the 3 columns. You do the same thing from Friday. T, X, Y. Let's go ahead and look at the last set of instructions. For the following parametric, just sketch it. So for this, we're not even going to have to convert it. It's just drawing those 3 columns and then graphing the sketch, sketching the graph. All right, let's go back because I wanted to do problem 2 and problem 3 with you. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just go in order. I'm going to write the parametric, then I'm going to graph it. All right, I see that I have a circle there, and I see that the center is not at the origin, so H and K. So I'm going to separate x and y, and I know x is always grouped with h, so I'm going to write -3 right here. The k value is 4, always grouped with y. I'm going to draw a plus sign because there's always a plus sign. And y'all, it's a circle, so A and B are the same thing. So both of these are going to have a 4 in front, both for cosine t and for sine t. And if I just graph that at -3, +4, and remember, we just need to sketch the shape. All right, that's number 2. Let's take a look at number 3. All right, I already know it's an ellipse. I know the values that are being multiplied are going to be different. A and B are different. And I have a center here at 0, -3. So I'm going to just break that up. I'm going to write my plus sign, and look, y'all, the x radius and the y radius, that even tells you what number to put in front. So if the x radius is 7, this is going to be +7 cosine t. The y radius is 2, so 2 sine t, but look, y'all, this 0 plus something, like that has no value at all. It's okay if you leave it like that, but if you write when you have a center on 0 like this, that is such a cleaner, more sophisticated answer. I will not take points off if you write it like that, but if you wrote it like that, I'm going to know that you know what's going on. All right, very quickly, we're just going to plot this. X radius is 7, so I go 7 in both directions. And then the Y radius is 2. So easy. So there's just a couple of more examples on how to write them in parametric form. Guys, go ahead and do all of this. It's going to be due at the beginning of class tomorrow.